Hello everyone, Earl Henderson here, Primordial Defense. Thank you for watching. This is going to be the unboxing and review of Safe Life Defense Level 3A Plus Enhanced Concealable Body Armor. The new vest that I got is going to be replacing the older sets of soft armor I have. My older sets are Safariland, Zero G Armorware, and Point Blank Vision. These vests have reached their expiration date. They're past the manufacturer's recommendation of being usable armor. So, because they use synthetic materials and synthetic materials can degrade over time, vest manufacturers say that after a certain amount of time, they recommend that you discontinue using the vest and get a new one. Do people still use older vests? Yeah, certainly. Smaller agencies, as far as smaller security agencies and smaller law enforcement agencies, just can't afford a lot of things, and so they have used older vests. For example, there's a nonprofit group out there that takes vests from larger agencies, and they give those old retired vests to poor police agencies across the U.S. so they can actually have something. A lot of security officers in the security industry will buy older retired vests and use those on the job site. Can you get the same protection out of an old vest as you can a brand new vest? Some people say no, some people say yes. You can go do your own research on that. You can look on YouTube. And now, YouTube is obviously not an independent testing laboratory. However, you will see multiple videos out there of people taking old retired vests, setting them up, and shooting them with ammunition that the vest was advertised as stopping, and it still stops them. You can even look and see old Army vests, like the old PASGT flak jackets that from the late 80s, early 90s. You know, people still take those things and shoot them on video every once in a while, and they stop handgun rounds. And those things weren't even designed to stop handgun rounds. They were just designed to stop shrapnel from artillery and hand grenades, but yet they're stopping 9mm. So an older vest, in my opinion, yes, you can wear an older vest that's reached its end date, and it'd be better than absolutely nothing. But as I said, these vests are older, and it is time to retire them. Not only are they older and they've reached their expiration date, but the level of protection that they offer versus what the new vest I have is a little bit different. And for example, this Safariland vest versus the Point Blank and the new Safe Life vest, this is not capable, to my knowledge, of defeating taser. So taser, a lot of people don't know or realize, is the probes actually do not have to be touching your skin. They can actually arc through about 2 inches of clothing or material and still reach you. When you fire the taser, it cycles at a very high pulse rate, and that probe, when it hits and it's at that very high pulse rate, it ionizes the air around the site and can allow the electricity to arc through the air into the target itself and deliver an MI. So this older vest right here, if I was wearing it and someone took my taser away from me and shot me with my taser, I could succumb to the effects of neuromuscular incapacitation, be convulsing on the ground, and then they take my gun out and kill me with it, or sit there and stomp my skull in. So that was one of the main reasons for getting rid of that vest and going to this one. This one was designed to defeat taser. You could fire taser into it, and with the materials inside, it would not allow the arc to go all the way through. I wanted to do an actual true unboxing video, but using my phone, it's incredibly difficult to do everything one-handed, as far as splitting tape and doing everything. So the box is already open, but the box you get looks like one big pizza box, so to speak. Also, interestingly enough, it doesn't have any warning labels on the outside to advertise not using a knife. when you get this thing, I would be very careful using a knife cutting it open, because past the cardboard, there's not much protecting the vest itself. So just use caution. Don't take your, your tactical Stabmaster 2000 knife and just all the way down there. You could find out that once you open your box, you're going to have a slash across the carrier of the vest. So use caution when opening it. You open the box, and on the inside, it's kind of like a Christmas present. You got some tissue paper. You get that tissue paper out of the way, and your vest comes inside this plastic bag. Rip it open, throw it to the side, and then you got your vest and some documents in here. I'll just touch on the documents real quick. The documents are, one of them is the returns and exchanges, and I'll talk about the sizing stuff here in a little bit. The other documents in here are the ballistic reports from the independent testing that come from Oregon Ballistic Laboratories, and they took X a number of vests and they shot them X amount of times using the Liberty Civil Defense 357 SIG, 44 mag, and the 5.7, and they all passed. It also has more data sheets in here about what they shot it with, the time, temperature, velocity, average velocity, etc. If you're really into that scientific stuff. Me, I'm the kind of person, I just look at, it passed, good. I don't really care about all the other stuff. Also has documentation on where they tested it with stabbing, and it was able to defeat stabbing. And of course it has a disclaimer, just like everything you have is a disclaimer. And of course it says no armor is 100% bulletproof. Duh. It has also a thank you letter from the president of that company, not the president. And then the other sheet is your bill of sale, which this has my personal information on it, so I'm not going to flip it over and show you my home address and email and all that. But it's just a bill of sale, and it has, how much the vest was. And here is the vest itself. This vest is their level 3A plus enhanced concealable armor. This vest retails for $4.99, and I'll talk about pricing here in a second. The panels themselves are not super rigid, like other vest designs are, but they're not very flexible like that Safariland vest is. That Safariland vest, the panels are so thin that I could take my hand and crumple it almost like paper. They still got some flex to them, but they're not super flexible, so they won't crunch up and look kind of goofy looking printing through the front of the uniform. The points of contact, they just got regular elastic straps on the sides. Some better lighting here. Just regular elastic side bands. You can adjust the Velcro how you want on the back Velcro piece. So if you want this tab to be further back, you can set it further back. If you want to move the tab very closer to the edge, all the way almost to the edge, which I wouldn't really recommend because you have less material holding it there. But you can adjust it either way you want. You can go a little bit higher, lower, further back, a little bit closer to the edge, whatever you want to do. That adjusts that way. And then of course the shoulders only adjust towards the front. It is permanently stitched on the back side, and then you can just adjust how far down you want the neck to go, and like so. The interior part of the carrier itself is mesh lined. See if you can pick up that contrast there. The mesh lining should make wearing this a little bit more comfortable, where you don't sweat as much. The opening for the carrier to get the panels out is Velcro. It has a bright red panel on the inside. Now, the plus side to having a Velcro opening for the carrier is if you use a zipper and you wash that thing and you wear it a whole lot, then that zipper is going to wear out and it's going to make it just difficult to get your vest or your panel in and out of your carrier. At least with the Velcro. Of course, Velcro over time can become weak and not hold as strong as it was when it was new, but it does make it easier for you to get your panels in and out when it does degrade, because when a zipper degrades, it gets to the point where you just can't open it anymore. And that was the problem with my point blank vest, is I can't open the carrier up to get the panel out without destroying the carrier even more. Your older vest designs have a pocket on the front of the vest to accept a little trauma plate. It's a little rectangular size plate that you stick in the front, and it's you know, really no wider than your hand, and in my big old Sasquatch size hand, it's really no taller than it. And that's just to add a little bit more trauma protection. This is actually, if you can pick up the black on black contrast here, this is an opening to accept a 10 by 12 level 4 rifle plate. So I've already taken my rifle plates out of my plate carrier, and this is a 10 by 12 rifle plate, and you can stick this bad boy down the sleeve of your soft armor and have rifle protection on top of your soft armor. Now, this vest is a concealable vest. You wear it under your uniform shirt, and it's, you know, the key word is being concealed. Now, you start putting rifle plates in this thing, it's not going to be concealed anymore, because these things are pretty thick. And you put a plate in the front and a plate in the back, it's now going to be very painfully obvious that you're wearing armor. If you're a if you're a thin person who's kind of skinny and you put rifle plates in your concealable vest, you're going to look like you have a tumor growth on your front, or you just spend an insane amount of time at the gym. If you're kind of a chunkier guy, a little bit big, hefty, plus size, big and tall, whatever you want to call it, even then, you're still going to notice that these things are inside of it. So, yeah, I guess you could say it's kind of cool that you could just throw in rifle plates if you wanted to, but just think about the realism of it. You're no longer going to have a concealable vest if you put rifle plates in there, because it's just going to be obvious that you got armor on. The panels in this vest can come out and go into Safe Life's external vest carrier, or their tactical carrier. So you can take these panels out of your concealable carrier and pop them into the outside vest, and the compatibility is great. So basically, this could be worn as an outside vest. You just don't have a bunch of pockets and MOLLE on there. The tactical vest that you get will have a bunch of MOLLE across the front, and then it'll have the laser cut MOLLE Velcro up here. And the outer vest that you get has the same pockets where you can put the rifle plates in there. That is a more viable option to me. That's what I'm going to end up getting once I pay off this vest. I'm going to get the external carrier, or the tactical vest, whatever you want to call it. And I'll be able to keep my rifle plates in there, have soft armor protection that does wrap around, and then be able to take off the shingles on the front if I want, put something else on there, set it up however I want. But I don't rock that a whole lot. My plate carrier, I don't use it a whole lot. I only put it on when things are getting kind of hairy, or I think there's a pretty good potential for there to be a fight. I'll throw it on, and of course when I'm using my rifle, because it has rifle mags on there. I prefer a concealed vest because it just looks better in uniform. I'm not a big fan of the external carriers. The only external carriers I like are the ones that are the concealed external carriers, so to speak. They look like a uniform top. There's just an external vest. I don't really care for the whole tactical ninja carriers out there that have all these little pouches on front. I just don't like it. It just looks to me goofy. Of all people, me, being an instructor in tactics and firearms, the tactical Gucci stuff to me sometimes just looks goofy. Like our local sheriff's office rocks the outer vest, tan uniforms, black vest with all these pouches on there. I just don't like the look of it. I think it's goofy. But you can buy your concealable carrier with the panels and interchange them with an outer vest. So you can be very modular in that, and very modular with being able to put rifle plates in there. Now, sizing and purchasing. So when you order this vest, the sizing, you will use a sizing sheet that is based off your height and your weight. Now, other armor companies, you'll take exact measurements of your torso and height and girth and everything, and they will custom build a vest to you. Safe Life doesn't do that. They have sizes, I believe it's X small all the way up until 7XL. And what they do is they base it off of your height and your weight. So if you're 6 foot tall and you weigh 200 something pounds, that corresponds to a certain size. Off the top of my head, I don't know what that certain size is, but I can tell you that a 3X vest does not correlate to you wearing a 3X t-shirt. So go ahead and get that out of your head. Don't order a 3X vest because you wear a 3X shirt. You're going to find out that it doesn't fit. Which I didn't find out the hard way. I just, I did a thing called reading when I was online, and seeing that obviously some other people who can't read ran into that problem. Once you figure, and don't lie about your weight. No one's going to care that you're fat or that you're anorexic. So go off your true weight so that you get a true fit. And height as well. No one cares that you're a little munchkin. No one cares that you're Sasquatch. Go off your correct measurements, and you should get a vest that fits properly. If you lied about your height and your weight, or you're just got an odd body shape where you're really short and you're really fat, or whatever, the vest that you get doesn't fit, Safe Life has a 30-day fit guarantee, fit and satisfaction guarantee. So within 30 days, you get this vest, it doesn't fit right, you send it back in, and they will send you another one for free. You can also, it has description in here on if the vest doesn't fit correctly. Take multiple pictures of yourself wearing the vest, and their armor designer will look at those photos and will select the vest for you to send to you that will fit properly. Now, the Afterpay. So this vest retails for like $4.99, and with Afterpay you make 4 equal interest-free payments, and you have a vest. Now, when you go through the checkout, you select your color, your size, and you select Afterpay. You make that first payment of like $100 something. Like, I don't know what it is off the top of my head. Let's say it's $130. You make that first payment of $130, and the order processes and they ship it. Then you get this vest in hand for your first initial payment of only $100 something, which is pretty darn good for smaller agencies and low-paid officers that can't afford these things right off the bat. A lot of people can't go and afford on their own a $600 vest. So being able to pay only up $130 at once, and then get this vest in hand and then make additional payments on it, can really help out a lot of people. So there's really no excuse anymore for not having armor when Safe Life is offering pretty good priced armor using Afterpay. A lot of people are thinking, why are you buying your own armor? A lot of people don't know, but within the security industry, there's hardly any equipment given to people. Depending on what you're doing within the security industry, most of your security patrol companies, security guards companies don't offer a whole lot of equipment. Some of them are still issuing revolvers because the revolvers were the cheapest thing they could find. A lot of your police agencies out there across the United States don't furnish a whole lot of equipment. A good friend of mine, he got hired onto a very small agency. He ended up having to borrow a vest from a friend of mine, and then also I think ended up borrowing some pieces of duty belt gear to be able to work. The agency didn't buy any of that stuff for them. The only thing the agency gave them was a car. He had to, of course, furnish his own duty belt, cuff case and gun holster and all that. And of course, the vest that he's using is an older vest, and the agency wasn't even capable of providing that. And that is the same old sad story all across the United States. There's a lot of small agencies out there, 1-2 man departments. Some departments no more than 10 people. They're poor. They can't afford a lot of stuff, and you'd be surprised about how many police officers out there are basically paying to work, so to speak. They're having to go and buy their own gun. They're having to go buy their own duty belt, their own handcuffs, their own uniforms, their own vests. And the only thing that their agency or their local government provides is a car. Even going several years back, even the car wasn't even provided by some agencies. Some officers had to buy their own car. There's agencies out there today where it is a common thing for officers to go get a loan to purchase their own equipment so they can actually go to work. Now imagine, whatever field that other people work in, that's not really the same. Like if you go work at a fast food restaurant, I've never worked in one, but to my knowledge, they're not required to buy their own uniform shirts, their own name tags. All that stuff is furnished to them. If you go work in an office setting, you're not required to go buy your own stapler, go buy your own copying machine, go buy your own office chair, buy your own computer. All that stuff is furnished to you. For some reason, when you get into the law enforcement and security industry, there's a lot of folks who are having to go buy their own stuff to be able to be safe at work, or to even go to work for that matter. So there's no excuse anymore for not having armor with this lower priced armor, and also using the Afterpay feature. So if you're an officer on a budget, I highly suggest looking into Safe Life Defense and getting the protection you need. That way, when things go south, you can go home at the end of the night. And if things do go south, another cool thing about Safe Life Defense is if you get shot with this thing and it stops everything and you're alive, they're going to send you a whole brand new vest for free as long as you send them the report about what happened, like an actual police report. So if you have any questions, comments, please leave them in the comments below. Send me a message. If you like this, give it a like, give it a share. This is Earl Henderson, Primordial Defense. Thank you for watching.